And
When I
when they
was
told me the
replacing the
news, it
torn
felt
lining
like the
inside your
world just
daughter's bag, I
stopped.
found something
I
hidden in
didn't
a
know how
secret
I was going to
compartment
go
beneath
on
the
without
bottom
them.
panel. He
And when
released
they
my
told me
wrist
the
and pulled
news,
out a
it felt
small
like the
manila
world just
envelope.
stopped.
My hands
I
started to
didn't know
tremble
how I was
before I
going to
even
go
looked
on without
inside.
them.
The first thing I
And when
saw
they
was a
told me the
photograph.
news, it felt
Emma,
like the
my
world
beautiful
just
granddaughter with her
stopped.
dark curls
I
and
didn't
bright
know how I
smile.
was going
She
to
was
go on
walking out of her
without
high
them.
school, backpack
And when
slung
they
over
told
one
me the
shoulder.
news, it
But
felt like the
someone had
world just
drawn a red
stopped.
X across her
I
face.
didn't know
Not a
how I was
careful
going to go
X, a
on
violent,
without them.
angry X, like
And when
whoever
they
held the
told me the
marker had
news, it
pressed
felt
down
like the
so
world
hard they
just
nearly tore
stopped.
through the photo.
I
The
didn't know
rage in
how I
those
was
red
going to go
strokes
on
made my
without
stomach
them.
twist.
And when
Then
they
I saw
told
the
me the
second
news, it
item, a
felt like the
business
world
card,
just
plain white,
stopped.
no logo, just
I
a
didn't know
phone
how
number
I
and
was going
three
to go
words
on
printed in
without
small
them.
black text,
And when they
premium
told me the
merchandise
news, it felt
available.
like the
The
world just
third item was a
stopped.
handwritten note
I
on
didn't know
expensive
how I was going to
stationery.
go on
The
without
kind
them.
Victoria always
And when they
used.
told me the
Package
news, it felt like
confirmed,
the world
age
just
17,
stopped.
excellent health,
I
no
didn't know how
dependencies,
I was going to
delivery
go on
November
without
15th,
them.
payment
And when they told me the
$400,000,
news, it felt like
VM
the
the room
world just
tilted,
stopped.
VM Victoria
I didn't know
Martinez.
how I
My
was going to go
daughter's
on
initials,
without
that
them.
handwriting.
And
The
when
way
they
she
told me
looped her
the
capital
news, it
V, the
felt
way
like the
her
world
Mayas
just
had that
stopped.
distinctive tail.
I
I'd
didn't
seen
know
that
how I was
handwriting
going to
on
go on
thousands of
without them.
birthday cards,
And when
grocery
they told
lists,
me
and
the
thank you
news, it
notes over
felt like the
35
world just
years.
stopped.
This was my daughter's
I didn't know
handwriting
how
on a
I was
note
going to
that
go
called my
on without
granddaughter a
them.
package.
And when
I
they
couldn't
told me the
breathe. The
news, it
envelope
felt like
slipped
the
from my
world just
fingers. Carlos
stopped.
caught it.
I
Patricia,
didn't know
he
how
said,
I
his
was going to
voice
go on
breaking.
without
I have a
them.
granddaughter too,
And when they told
Sophia.
me the news,
She's
it felt like
16.
the
When I
world
saw
just
this photo with
stopped.
that ex, I thought,
I
what
didn't
if
know
someone
how
knew
I was going to
Sophia
go
was in
on
danger
without
and
them.
said nothing? His
And when they
eyes
told
welled
me
up.
the news,
I
it
couldn't
felt
stay
like the world
silent.
just
He set the
stopped.
envelope on the
I
counter
didn't know
between
how
us.
I was going to
I've
go
been in
on
this
without
business
them.
40 years.
And
I've
when they
repaired
told me
bags
the
for
news,
judges,
it
for
felt like the
lawyers, for
world just
criminals. I've
stopped.
found money, love
I didn't
letters,
know how
drugs,
I
but
was
I've
going to
never
go on
found evil
without
until
them.
today. I
And when
looked at
they
the
told me the
handwriting again,
news, it felt like
Victoria's
the world
familiar
just
V. The
stopped.
note, the X
I didn't know
drawn with
how
such
I was going to go
violence.
on
This is
without them.
human trafficking,
And when they
Carlos
told me
whispered.
the
This
news,
is
it felt
someone
like the
marking a
world just
child to sell
stopped.
her. I grabbed the
I didn't
counter to
know
keep
how
from
I was going to go
collapsing.
on
I
without them.
remembered finding
And
credit
when they
card
told me the
statements on
news, it felt
Victoria's
like the
desk 2
world just
months ago,
stopped.
charges from
I didn't know
casinos,
how I was going
online
to go
betting
on
sites.
without
When
them.
I'd asked about a
And
call
when they
from a
told me the
collections
news,
agency,
it
she'd
felt like the
snapped at
world
me,
just
said it was
stopped.
work-related.
I
Told
didn't
me to
know how
mind
I
my
was going
own
to go on
business. Her
without
hands
them.
always shook
And
when
when they
money
told
came
me
up.
the news, it
Gambling
felt like the
debts,
world
a
just
trafficker's
stopped.
business card, my
I didn't
granddaughter
know
marked
how I
with a
was going
red
to go
X. My
on
daughter had
without
become a
them.
monster.
And when
And
they
I had
told me the
less than
news,
3
it felt
weeks
like the
before the
world just
November 15th
stopped.
delivery. If you're
I
still
didn't know
with
how
me,
I was going to
comment
go on
truth
without
below,
them.
because what happens
And when
next
they
will
told
break
me
your
the
heart.
news,
I
it
left
felt like the
Carlos's
world
shop
just
clutching the
stopped.
envelope inside my
I didn't
purse.
know how I
The
was going to
autumn
go
rain
on
felt like
without
ice
them.
against my
And when
skin.
they told
Those
me the
red X
news, it
marks
felt like
haunted
the
me,
world
but it
just
was Victoria's
stopped.
handwriting that
I didn't know
terrified me
how I was
most,
going to go
because it
on
meant
without
this
them.
wasn't something being
And
done
when
to
they
her.
told me the
This was
news,
something
it
she
felt
had
like the
done.
world
I
just
had to call
stopped.
Derek,
I
Emma's
didn't know
father,
how I was going to go
Victoria's
on without
ex-husband,
them.
the man who
And when
fought
they
for
told
joint
me the
custody
news,
3
it felt
years
like the
ago and
world just
lost because
stopped.
Victoria was a
I
successful
didn't know
physician
how
and
I
he
was
was
going to go
just a
on
high
without
school
them.
teacher.
And
My
when they
fingers
told me the
fumbled with
news,
my
it felt
phone
like
as
the
I sat
world
in
just
my car
stopped.
outside the repair
I
shop.
didn't know how I
Derek
was going to
answered
go
on the
on
second
without
ring.
them.
I could hear
And
students
when
in the
they told me
background.
the
He was
news, it
probably
felt like the
between
world
classes.
just stopped.
Patricia,
I
everything
didn't know
okay?
how I was
Derek,
going to
you
go
need to
on
listen
without
very
them.
carefully. My
And when
voice
they told me
cracked.
the news,
Something
it
is
felt
very
like the
wrong
world
with
just
Victoria.
stopped.
The background
I
noise
didn't know
faded. He
how
was
I was
stepping
going to
into the
go on
hallway.
without them.
What are you talking
And
about?
when they
I
told
just
me the
picked up
news, it
Victoria's
felt like the
bag from
world just
Carlos's repair
stopped.
shop. He
I
found
didn't know
something
how
hidden
I was going to
inside.
go on
I
without
pulled up
them.
my phone's
And
camera
when they
and
told me the
photographed the
news, it
contents of the
felt like the
envelope
world
spread
just
across my lap.
stopped.
My
I
thumb
didn't know
hovered over
how
the
I was going
send
to go
button
on
Once I
without
did
them.
this, there would be no
And when
going
they
back.
told
I
me the
pressed
news, it
send.
felt like the
Patricia,
world
what the
just
hell is
stopped.
this? His voice
I
had
didn't
gone
know
from
how I was going to
confused to
go on
terrified
without
in 3
them.
seconds.
And when they
Carlos
told me
found
the
them in a
news, it
hidden
felt like the
compartment, a
world just
business card for
stopped.
what looks like
I
human
didn't know how
trafficking,
I
a
was going to
photo of
go on
Emma with a
without
red
them.
X across her
And when
face,
they
and a
told me the
handwritten
news, it
note.
felt like the
I
world
forced
just
myself to keep
stopped.
going. The
I
note
didn't know
says
how I was
package
going to go
confirmed,
on
age
without them.
17,
And when
delivery
they told me
November
the news,
15th,
it felt like
payment
the world just stopped.
$400,000. Derek, I
I didn't know
recognize the
how I was going to
handwriting.
go
It's
on without
Victoria's.
them.
The line
And when
went
they told
silent
me the
except for his
news, it felt
breathing,
like the
fast,
world just
shallow.
stopped.
Like he'd been
I
punched.
didn't know
Are you
how I
sure
was
it's her
going to go
writing?
on
I've
without
seen it
them.
for 35
And when
years,
they
I'm
told me the
sure. There
news, it
has to
felt
be an
like the world
explanation.
just
Maybe it's for
stopped.
work. Maybe,
I didn't know
Derek, I
how I
cut him
was going to
off.
go on
Your
without
daughter
them.
has a red X
And when they
across her
told me the
face like
news, it felt
livestock at
like
an
the world
auction.
just
There's a business
stopped.
card for
I
trafficking,
didn't
and
know how I
Victoria
was
has
going to
been
go on
acting
without
strange for
them.
months.
And when they
Another
told
long
me the
pause. When
news,
he
it felt
spoke
like the
again, his
world
voice
just
was hollow.
stopped.
I've been
I
worried.
didn't know how I was
Emma's
going to
been
go
pulling
on
away from
without them.
Victoria, won't
And
stay
when they told
overnight at
me
her
the
place
news, it
anymore,
felt like
says
the
her
world
mom
just
acts
stopped.
weird. I thought it was
I didn't know
typical
how I
teenage
was going to go
stuff.
on
The
without them.
realization hit him. I
And
could
when
hear
they
it in
told
the
me the
sharp
news, it
intake of
felt like the
breath.
world just
Patricia, what if
stopped.
Victoria's
I
planning
didn't know
something?
how
What
I
if
was
she's
going to go
actually
on
going to?
without
He
them.
couldn't finish the
And when they
sentence.
told me
The
the
note
news,
says
it felt
November
like the world
15th.
just
That's
stopped.
18 days from now.
I didn't know
I
how
heard
I was
typing
going to
through
go
the
on
phone.
without
I'm
them.
calling my attorney
And when
right
they told
now.
me the news, it
Emergency
felt like the
custody
world
hearing,
just
and I'm picking
stopped.
up Emma from school
I didn't know
today. She's
how I
not
was going
going
to go
back to
on without
Victoria's,
them.
not ever. A
And when
moment
they
of
told
doubt
me the
seized
news,
me.
it felt like
Derek,
the
what if
world
we're
just
wrong?
stopped.
What if there's an
I didn't know
explanation we're
how I
not
was going to
seeing?
go on
His answer
without
came
them.
back fast
And
and
when they
sharp.
told me the
Look at that
news, it
photo
felt like the
again. Look at
world
my
just
daughter's face
stopped.
with that X. Tell
I
me
didn't
there's
know
an
how I was
innocent
going to go on
explanation.
without
I
them.
pulled out the
And when
photograph,
they told
Emma's
me the
smile.
news, it felt
That
like the
violent
world
red
just
X cutting
stopped.
through her
I
innocence.
didn't
There
know
was no
how I was going to go
explanation,
on
only
without them.
evil. No, I
And when they
whispered. There
told me the
isn't.
news, it felt
Patricia,
like
I
the
need you to
world
go
just
home. Act
stopped.
normal. If
I didn't know
Victoria
how I was
calls,
going to
tell
go
her you
on
picked up
without
the
them.
bag and hung it in her
And when they
closet.
told me
Make
the
her think
news, it felt
everything
like
is
the world
normal.
just
His voice
stopped.
dropped lower.
I
I
didn't know
think the
how I
woman
was
I'm
going to go
married is
on
planning
without them.
something. And we
And
have
when they told
18
me the
days to
news, it
stop
felt
her.
like the
The
world
line
just
went dead.
stopped.
I sat there as
I didn't know
darkness
how I
settled
was
over
going to go on
Portland, the
without
envelope
them.
heavy in my
And
lap.
when they told
Derek
me
would
the
get Emma
news,
to
it felt like the
safety, but we
world just
needed more than
stopped.
just a photograph and a
I didn't know
note.
how I
We
was going to
needed
go
proof
on
of what
without them.
Victoria was planning,
And when they told
real,
me the news, it
undeniable
felt like
proof.
the
And
world
I
just
was the only
stopped.
one who could get it.
I didn't
Drop
know
a
how
number
I
from
was going
1
to
to
go
10
on
in the
without
comments
them.
if your heart is
And when
racing
they
right
told me
now.
the news,
I
it
drove
felt like
home
the
through the
world just
Portland rain,
stopped.
one hand on the
I
wheel,
didn't know
one
how
hand
I
on
was
the
going to go
envelope.
on
My
without
phone
them.
rang as I
And
pulled
when
into
they
my
told me the
driveway.
news, it felt
Derek,
like the
I have
world just
Emma picked her up
stopped.
from school.
I didn't
Told
know
her we're
how I was
taking a
going to go on
spontaneous
without
trip to
them.
my sister's
And when
cabin
they
in
told me
Bend.
the
She
news,
thinks
it
it's a
felt like
fun
the world just
getaway. Did she
stopped.
ask about
I
Victoria?
didn't know how
Yeah,
I
I
was going to
told her
go on
mom's busy
without
with her
them.
conference in
And when they
Boston.
told me the
She seemed
news, it felt
relieved.
like the
That
world
word
just
hit me like a
stopped.
punch.
I
Relieved.
didn't know how
Derek,
I
we
was going
need
to
to
go
search
on without
Victoria's
them.
house.
And
Breaking
when
and
they told me
entering,
the
I still
news,
have
it
a
felt
key
like
from
the
when I
world
used to
just
water her
stopped.
plants. It's
I
not
didn't know
breaking in
how
if
I
I'm
was going to go
invited.
on
You're not
without them.
invited. She
And
doesn't
when
need
they
to know
told me the
that.
news, it
Silence.
felt like the
Then
world
when?
just
Tonight,
stopped.
Victoria's flight
I
doesn't
didn't know
land from
how I was
Boston
going to go
until
on
tomorrow
without them.
evening. That
And
gives
when
us
they told me
24
the news,
hours.
it felt
I'm
like
in
the
Bend
world
with
just
Emma 3
stopped.
hours away.
I
I'll
didn't
go
know how
alone.
I was going to go
Patricia, if
on without
Victoria
them.
finds out, she
And
won't.
when
I'll
they
be
told me the
careful.
news,
At
it
8
felt like the
p.m., I
world
stood
just
outside
stopped.
Victoria's
I
craftsman-style
didn't know
house in the
how I
Pearl
was going to go
District.
on without
Expensive
them.
neighborhood,
And
doctor's
when they told
salary.
me
I
the
used my
news, it felt
key.
like
The
the
alarm
world just
beeped. I entered
stopped.
the code Emma's
I didn't know
birthday. The
how I
beeping
was going to go
stopped. The
on
house was
without them.
dark, silent,
And when they
smelled like
told me the
Victoria's
news, it
lavender
felt like the
candles. I
world
stood
just
in the foyer, my
stopped.
heart hammering.
I didn't know
Where would
how
she
I was
hide
going to go
evidence
on
of
without
trafficking her
them.
own daughter? I
And when they
started in
told
her
me the
home
news, it
office,
felt like the
searched her
world
desk
just
drawers,
stopped.
found bills,
I didn't
medical
know how
journals,
I was going
credit
to go
card
on
statements
without
showing the
them.
gambling
And
charges
when they
I'd
told
seen
me the
before.
news, it
Nothing
felt like
about
the
Emma.
world just
I moved to her
stopped.
bedroom, opened
I
her
didn't know how
nightstand,
I was going to
found
go on
prescription
without
bottles,
them.
reading glasses, a
And when they
bookmark.
told me
Then
the
I saw the
news, it
closet
felt like the
safe.
world just
Small, digital
stopped.
keypad hidden
I didn't
behind
know
hanging
how I was going
dresses.
to
I
go
tried
on
Emma's
without them.
birthday, wrong
And
code,
when they
red
told me
light.
the
I
news, it
tried
felt like the
Victoria's
world just
birthday, wrong
stopped.
code. I
I
tried my
didn't know
late
how I
husband's
was going to go
birthday,
on
Victoria's
without
father
them.
who died
And
5
when they
years
told me
ago,
the
wrong
news, it
code.
felt like
One
the
more
world
wrong
just
attempt and it might
stopped.
lock permanently.
I didn't
I
know
stood
how
there
I was going to
staring
go
at that
on
keypad.
without them.
Then I
And when
remembered
they told me the
Victoria's
news,
medical
it
school
felt like the world
graduation.
just
May
stopped.
14th,
I didn't know
2008,
how
the
I was going to
proudest
go
day of her
on
life,
without them.
5 minutes, 14
And when
minutes,
they
8,
told me the
green
news,
light,
it
the
felt
safe
like the
clicked
world
open.
just
Inside
stopped.
were things I
I
wasn't
didn't know
prepared to
how I
see.
was going to go
Cash,
on without
approximately
them. And when they
$60,000 in
told me the
banded
news, it
stacks,
felt
a
like the
passport,
world
but
just
not Victoria's
stopped.
regular one.
I didn't
This
know
one had
how
a
I was
different
going to go
name,
on
Rebecca
without them.
Mills. Victoria's
And when they
photo,
told
fake
me the news,
identity,
it
a
felt
second
like the world
passport,
just
Emma
stopped.
Mills. Age
I didn't know
16,
how I was
Emma's
going to go
photo,
on
wrong
without them.
age, wrong name,
And when they
airline
told me the
tickets,
news,
one
it
way to
felt like the
Bogota,
world just
Colombia, departing
stopped.
November
I
16th,
didn't
the
know
day
how I
after the
was going to go
delivery
on
date. 2
without them.
tickets, Rebecca Mills and Emma Mills, not 3, no ticket for Derek. No ticket for me. My daughter was planning to take Emma and disappear to Colombia the day after selling her to traffickers for $400,000, but that made no sense. Why sell Emma if she was taking her to Colombia? Unless my blood ran cold, unless the buyer was in Colombia, unless Victoria was personally delivering Emma to whoever had paid $400,000, I pulled out my phone with shaking hands, photographed everything. The cash. The passports, the tickets. Then I saw the USB drive tucked into the corner of the safe. I grabbed it. Suddenly, headlights swept across the bedroom window, a car pulling into the driveway, Victoria's car. She wasn't supposed to be home until tomorrow. I shoved the USB into my pocket, closed the safe, and ran through the bedroom, down the hall, toward the back door. I heard her key in the front lock. I slipped out the back door into the garden, crouched behind the recycling bins. Through the kitchen window, I saw Victoria enter. She looked exhausted, threw her keys on the counter, walked toward the bedroom. I waited 5 agonizing minutes. Then crept along the side of the house to the street, got in my car 2 blocks away, drove home. My hands shook so badly I could barely hold the wheel. At home, I plugged the USB into my laptop. 1 folder. Labeled contracts. Inside were documents that made me want to vomit. Comment contracts if you're still here, because what I found on that USB changed everything. The first document was a contract, professionally formatted. Legal language. Agreement between V. Martinez, seller and buyer, name redacted, for transfer of 1 female minor, age 17, North American, excellent health, no dependencies. Total payment USD $400,000. Delivery date November 15, 2024. Location Portland International Airport, private terminal. Final destination Medellin, Colombia. I read it 3 times. Victoria had signed it, her signature at the bottom, dated 6 weeks ago. The second document was worse. An email chain between Victoria and someone identified only as JR, from V. Martinez to JR subject. Package confirmation, package confirmed. Age 17. Excellent condition, no behavioral issues. Delivery November 15th as agreed, requesting half payment upfront. From JR to V. Martinez, half payment $200,000 wired to account ending 4782. Remaining balance due upon delivery. Our client is very pleased. Premium pricing approved for North American blonde, excellent health. My hands covered my mouth. The third document was a bank statement, Victoria's account. $200,000 deposited 3 weeks ago. Source: international wire transfer. She'd already been paid half. The fourth document was a photograph, Victoria standing next to a man in his 50s, expensive suit, cold eyes. They were in what looked like a hotel lobby. I didn't recognize him, but the caption beneath the photo said, "With JR finalizing November delivery." I called Derek. It was 11 p.m. He answered immediately. "Patricia, I found it, the proof. Victoria has a contract. She's selling Emma to someone in Colombia for $400,000. The delivery is November 15th at Portland Airport. Oh God, she's already been paid $200,000. She has fake passports for both of them. Tickets to Bogota the day after the delivery." Derek's breathing came fast and shallow. "Why would she go to Colombia if she's selling Emma?" "I think she's personally delivering Emma to the buyer in Medellin." "Who's the buyer?" "I don't know. The documents just say JR and client, but there's a photo of Victoria with someone labeled JR. Send me everything." I forwarded all the photos. Derek went silent for a long moment, then, "We need the FBI. What if they don't believe us?" "Patricia, you have a contract, bank records, fake passports. They'll believe us." He paused. "I'm calling them right now. Stay where you are. Don't contact Victoria. Act normal if she calls." At midnight, 2 FBI agents arrived at my house. Agent Sarah Chen, mid-40s, sharp eyes. Agent Marcus Webb, early 30s, former military bearing. I laid everything out on my kitchen table, the envelope from Carlos, the photos from Victoria's safe, the USB documents. Agent Chen studied each item carefully. "Mrs. Patterson, this is a federal human trafficking case. Your daughter is selling her own child to an international buyer. Can you stop her? We can arrest her right now, but if we do, we lose the buyer, we lose whoever JR is, we lose the entire network." My chest tightened. "What are you saying?" Agent Webb leaned forward. "We let the delivery happen, we surveil Victoria, we follow her to the airport November 15th, we catch her, the buyer and JR all together. Then we dismantle the whole operation. You want to use Emma as bait? No, we protect Emma, but we let Victoria think the delivery is happening. We swap Emma out with an undercover agent. Victoria never knows." I looked at them both. "Will Emma be safe?" "I promise you," Agent Chen said. "Emma will never be in danger. We'll have 50 agents on site. The second Victoria tries to hand over who she thinks is Emma, we arrest everyone." I thought about Emma, 17 years old, smiling in that photograph with a red X across her face. What do I need to do? Act normal. If Victoria calls, everything is fine, you picked up her bag, Emma is with Derek, normal grandmother routine. Agent Webb added, we'll monitor Victoria's communications. If anything changes, we'll know immediately. They left at 2 a.m. I sat alone in my kitchen staring at the USB drive. My daughter was a monster, but in 13 days she'd be in handcuffs. Leave a comment telling me. If you were in my place, could you turn in your own daughter, because the hardest part was still ahead. The next 2 weeks were the longest of my life. Victoria called me 3 times. Each time I had to pretend everything was normal. Call 1, November 2nd. Hi Mom, I'm back from Boston. Can you drop off my bag? Of course, sweetie, I'll bring it by tomorrow. Thanks. Hey, have you heard from Emma? She's not answering my texts. My heart pounded. Oh, she mentioned something about a school trip with Derek. You know how teenagers are with their phones. Okay, well, tell her to call me when you see her. Will do. I hung up and immediately called Agent Chen. She's getting suspicious. We know, we're monitoring her phone. She's texted Emma 47 times in 2 days. We have an agent responding as Emma. Casual replies, nothing to raise alarms. Call 2, November 7th. Mom, Derek won't return my calls. Do you know what's going on? I think he took Emma to his sister's cabin in Bend, just a father-daughter thing. He can't just take her without telling me. That's not how custody works. I'm sure he'll call you soon, honey. This is ridiculous. I'm her mother. The irony of those words made me nauseous. Call 3, November 12th, 3 days before delivery. Mom, I need you to do me a favor. What is it? Can you pick up Emma from Derek's and bring her to my house? Tell Derek I need her for a medical appointment, something routine. My blood ran cold. When? Tomorrow. November 13th. 2 days before the delivery, she was preparing. Victoria, I don't think I should get in the middle of your custody arrangements. Her voice turned sharp. Mom, please, I'm her mother. I have rights. Let me call Derek and see what I can do. I hung up and immediately called Agent Chen. She wants Emma tomorrow. We expected this. Tell her Derek said no, make up an excuse. We need to keep Emma away from Victoria until November 15th. I called Victoria back. Honey, I talked to Derek. Emma has a school project due. She can't come tomorrow, but he said she'll be back by the weekend. Silence, then. Fine, but I want her home by November 14th. No later. The day before delivery, she hung up. Agent Chen called me back. We're moving up the operation, November 14th instead of 15th. Victoria's getting desperate. We can't risk waiting. What's the plan? November 14th, 6 p.m. Victoria will receive a call from JR confirming delivery location. We'll be listening. When she goes to that location, we take her down. Where's Emma? Safe house in Seattle. Derek's with her. They think they're on an extended vacation. I didn't sleep for 3 days. November 14th arrived like a death sentence. At 6 p.m., Agent Chen called me. We just intercepted a call to Victoria. JR confirmed delivery, private terminal at Portland Airport, 8 p.m. tonight. Is she going? She's leaving her house right now. We're following her. Can I be there? Absolutely not, but I'll keep you on the line. You'll hear everything. At 7:45 p.m., I sat in my living room, Agent Chen on speakerphone. I heard agents communicating through radios. Subject approaching terminal. Visual confirmed, black sedan, license plate matches. She's parking. She's exiting vehicle carrying a duffel bag. Wait, there's someone else in the car. My heart stopped. Who? Agent Chen asked sharply. Young female, blonde. Approximately 17. Oh God, that's Emma, I whispered. How? Agent Chen demanded. She's supposed to be in Seattle. Chaos erupted over the radio. Victoria has Emma. Repeat. Victoria has the actual target with her. All units move in. Now, I heard shouting, car doors, running, then Victoria's voice, distant but clear. Emma, stay close to me. Emma's voice, confused and scared. Mom, what's going on? You said we were going on a trip. FBI, hands up, step away from the girl. Victoria screaming. She's my daughter, I can take her wherever I want. Ma'am, step away from the minor now. Emma crying. Mom, what did you do? Gunshots, I screamed. Agent Chen's voice, Patricia, stay calm, Emma is safe, repeat, Emma is secure. What happened? Victoria tried to run, she's in custody, Emma is safe. Unharmed? I collapsed onto my couch, sobbing. If you're still with me, comment safe below because the worst was over. But the hardest truth was still coming. The FBI found out later that Victoria had contacted Derek pretending to be a school administrator. Said there was an emergency. Derek, panicking, had driven Emma back to Portland right into Victoria's hands, but the FBI had been watching. They'd followed Derek's car. When Victoria tried to deliver Emma at the airport, 50 agents surrounded them. Victoria was arrested on the spot, charged with attempted human trafficking, conspiracy, and child endangerment. The buyer, Jr., turned out to be Javier Ruiz, a Colombian national wanted by Interpol for running a trafficking ring that had sold 43 children over 5
I
years.
didn't know how I
He
was
was
going to go
arrested
on
at the
without
private
them.
terminal along with
And when
two
they told me the
associates.
news,
They
it felt
found
like the
evidence
world
on
just
Victoria's
stopped.
laptop,
I didn't
emails,
know how I was
contracts,
going to go on
financial
without
records
them.
showing she'd been
And
planning
when
this
they
for
told
8
me the
months.
news, it
The
felt like the
gambling
world
debts
just
totaled
stopped. I didn't know how
$380,000
I was going to
owed
go
to a
on
criminal
without them.
organization in Las
And when they
Vegas.
told me the
Selling
news, it
Emma
felt
would have
like the
paid off
world
the
just
debt and left her
stopped.
$20,000
I didn't
to
know
start
how
a
I
new
was going to
life
go
in
on
Colombia.
without them.
3 weeks later,
And
I
when
sat
they told
across
me
from
the news,
Victoria
it
in a
felt like the
county
world
jail
just
visiting room.
stopped.
She wore an
I
orange
didn't know how I
jumpsuit,
was
her
going to
hair
go
was
on
unwashed,
without
her
them.
face was hollow.
And when they
We sat
told
in
me the
silence
news,
for a
it felt
long
like the
time.
world just
Finally, she
stopped.
spoke. I
I
didn't
didn't
think
know
you'd
how
find
I
out.
was going to go
Carlos
on
found the
without them.
evidence in your bag.
And when
That
they told
bag,
me the
she laughed
news, it felt
bitterly.
like the
Of all
world
the
just
stupid things.
stopped.
How could
I didn't
you?
know
My
how
voice
I was
broke.
going to
She's
go
your
on
daughter.
without
She
them.
was my burden,
And when they
Victoria
told
said
me the
flatly.
news, it
I
felt like
never
the
wanted to
world
be a
just
mother.
stopped.
Derek wanted Emma. You
I didn't
wanted a
know how I was
granddaughter. I
going to go
just
on
wanted my
without
career.
them.
So you
And when
decided
they
to sell
told me the
her. I
news, it
decided
felt
to
like the
solve my
world just
problem and my debt
stopped.
at the same time.
I didn't
I
know
stared
how
at
I
this
was going to
stranger
go on
wearing my
without
daughter's
them.
face. The
And when they
gambling
told me the
started
news,
5
it
years
felt like the
ago,
world
small
just
bets, then
stopped.
bigger, then I couldn't
I didn't
stop.
know how
Before
I
I
was
knew
going
it,
to
I
go
owed
on without them.
$400,000 to people who
And when
don't
they
accept
told me the
payment
news, it
plans.
felt like the
You could have
world just
asked me for help.
stopped.
She looked at me
I
like
didn't
I
know
was
how I
stupid.
was going to
You
go
don't
on
have
without them. And when
$400,000.
they told
I
me the
would have
news,
figured
it felt
something
like the
out.
world
This
just
was
stopped.
easier.
I didn't
Selling
know
her
how
daughter
I
was
was going to go
easier than
on
asking
without
for
them.
help. Do you love her
And
at
when they
all?
told me the
Victoria
news,
was
it felt
quiet for
like
a
the
long
world
moment.
just
I
stopped.
used to. When she
I
was
didn't know
little, but
how I
over the
was going to
years,
go
she
on
just
without
became
them.
an
And
obligation,
when they
someone
told
who
me the
needed things
news, it
from me,
felt like the
time,
world
money,
just
attention,
stopped.
things I didn't have to
I didn't
give.
know how I
Tears
was going to go
streamed down
on
my
without
face.
them.
The
And when
FBI
they
says
told
you're
me the
looking at
news,
30
it felt like
years.
the world
My
just
lawyer thinks he can
stopped.
get it down to
I didn't
20.
know how I
Emma
was
will
going
be
to go on
37 by
without
the
them.
time you get out.
And when they told
Victoria's
me the
face didn't
news, it felt
change.
like the
She'll be
world just
better off without
stopped.
me anyway. I
I didn't
stood.
know how I
You're
was going
right,
to
she
go
will
on
be.
without
I
them.
walked out, never
And when
looked
they
back.
told me
2
the
months
news, it
later,
felt like the
Victoria
world
pleaded
just
guilty, got
stopped.
25 years, no
I didn't know
parole.
how
Derek
I
got
was going
full
to go on
custody. I got
without them.
grandparent visitation
And when they
rights.
told me
Emma
the
started
news, it felt
therapy.
like
She
the
has
world just
nightmares.
stopped.
Trust issues, but
I
she's
didn't know
healing.
how I was
Last
going to
week,
go
she
on
brought home
without
a
them.
school project,
And when
an
they
essay
told me the
titled The
news,
Day
it
My
felt like the
Grandmother
world
Saved
just
My Life.
stopped.
She wrote about
I
Carlos
didn't know
finding
how
the
I was going to
evidence,
go
about
on
me
without
searching
them.
Victoria's house,
And when they told
about
me
the
the news,
FBI
it felt like the
arresting her
world
mother at
just
the airport.
stopped.
She ended with,
I didn't
some
know
people
how I
think
was going to
family
go
means
on
blood,
without
but I
them.
learned family
And when they
means the
told me
people
the
who
news,
protect
it
you.
felt like the
Grandma
world just
Patricia is my
stopped.
family. My
I didn't
mom
know
was
how
just a
I was going to
stranger
go
who
on
wanted me
without
gone.
them.
I cried
And
reading
when
it.
they told me the
Now I'm
news, it
sharing this
felt like
story
the
with you
world
because
just
I want you to
stopped.
understand something. If
I didn't
someone
know
in your
how I was
family
going
is
to go
acting
on without
strange,
them.
secretive,
And when
financially
they told me
desperate,
the
distant
news,
from
it
their
felt like the
children, pay
world just
attention.
stopped.
Don't ignore the
I didn't know
signs like I
how I
did
was
for
going to go
months.
on
Don't
without
wait
them.
until you find
And when
evidence
they
in a
told me the
handbag.
news, it felt
Carlos
like the
saved
world
Emma's
just
life by being
stopped.
brave enough to show
I
me what
didn't
he
know how I
found.
was going
I
to go
saved her
on
life by
without
being
them.
brave enough to
And when
act.
they told me
If you
the
suspect
news, it felt
something,
like the
anything,
world
trust
just
your
stopped.
instincts. Call the
I didn't
police,
know
call
how I
the
was going to go
FBI,
on
call
without
someone
them.
because the
And when
alternative
they
is
told me the
unthinkable.
news,
If
it
this
felt like
story
the
moved
world
you,
just
comment
stopped.
family below,
I
share it
didn't
with
know
someone
how
who
I was
needs
going
to
to go
hear it.
on without them.
Subscribe so you never
And
miss
when they
stories
told me
that
the
matter.
news, it
And
felt like
remember,
the
you're
world
never
just
too old to
stopped.
save a life. You're
I
never
didn't
too
know how
scared
I
to
was
do the
going to
right
go on
thing.
without
Stand
them.
up, speak up,
And when they
protect the
told me the
children in your
news, it
life.
felt like the
Because
world
evil
just
counts on
stopped.
good people staying
I didn't
silent.
know
Don't
how
be
I was going to
silent.
go on